Sairam, to uncles and aunties, brothers and sisters. Thank you for actually joining me this morning. I think for some of you all who are in the US region, it will be in the evening. Thank you for coming to this presentation. Today is a short, a brief outline on what is diabetes. So, as we all know now, diabetes is a very common disease which affects almost 1 in 10 people, especially in the Malaysian statistics. It affects 1 in every 10 individuals. So, let me take this morning to actually share with you what is diabetes and how we can actually avoid getting this particular disease. And if you've already had diabetes, how that we can actually cope and live with a better understanding on the particular disease. Okay, so we'll start here. Yeah. Sorry, this is where that we do our clinic. Hi. So for those who do not know me, my name is Dr. Parthivan. I'm actually a medical doctor currently based in Bintulu, Sarawak. Yes, so I'm actually in Sarawak, and we have been doing a GP clinic for the past 3 years. Other than that, I'm also actually a first aid and CPR trainer. Yes, I go and actually teach people how to save lives by using first aid, CPR techniques, how to use the proper techniques, and also I conduct various other trainings in terms of occupational health trainings as well. Okay, and I'm also a mental health coach, which I conduct programs on stress management and also mental wellness. Okay, all right. So let's get to today's topic. It will be in Malaysia, especially the prevalence of diabetes has reached staggering levels. Recent data indicates that about 3.6 million Malaysians are actually living with diabetes, with many more undiagnosed. Okay, so what is diabetes? Now, to put it in a layman's term, diabetes is a chronic condition they're categorized by high blood sugar levels. So basically, your blood sugar is high in your blood, resulting from either there is two reasons why the blood sugar is high. Number one is your body is unable to produce sufficient insulin, or number two is the insulin that your body produces, it is ineffectively used. I mean, it is not used effectively once the insulin has been produced. So these are reasons why your body's insulin is actually on the high side. Okay. So, what are the risk factors for diabetes? Yeah. So, let's look at the risk factors. Number one, the major risk factor will be if the person is obese. Now, I'm not saying that thin people cannot get diabetes, but the prevalence of obesity is the one causing the most of them to actually have higher risk in terms of diabetes as well. Now, number two will be sedentary lifestyle. Now, what does sedentary lifestyle actually mean? It actually means that you go to work, you come back, you sit in a 9 to 5 desk job. There are less physical activity on a daily basis. There is no exercise, there's no walking, there is no yoga, there's no any sort of exercise that actually activates your body's metabolism. So that's why we consider it as sedentary lifestyle. Sedentary means that means you're not moving as much. Okay, so that is sedentary lifestyle. Number three will be high sugar intake. Now, there are some people who have a lot of cravings towards sugar products, pastries, cakes, any other things that are actually sweet, like you have kesari and then a lot of desserts variety that are high in sugar. So, high sugar intake will obviously have a risk factor towards diabetes as well. And the last factor, which people do not actually pay attention to, is stress. Now, if you realize people who are actually stressed out, they tend to take more sweet things just to cope with their stress. Some people binge eat on chocolates, some people binge eat on cakes, pastries, some people just simply pour whipped cream into their mouth because it actually makes them feel happy. They're trying to induce the happy hormones because they are stressed. So these are one of the ways that they can actually induce diabetes mellitus without even them realizing. So these are the four main risk factors on how you can get diabetes. Yeah. Okay. Now, what are the signs and symptoms? Now, how can you actually identify whether you are having diabetes or not? Okay. Now, the first main function will be increase of thirst. This increase of thirst is actually not that you are thirsty after you drink from a hot day. No. This increased thirst means despite you drinking at least about 1 liter of water, you still feel the urge to drink more and more. So this is what we actually mean by increase of thirst. You call it in medical terms, it's called polydipsia. So polydipsia would mean that you're constantly wanting to drink more water every single day. Why it happens is because the blood sugar in your body is so high that it needs water to dilute it. So that is why you have the urge to drink more and more water. Now, if you drink more and more water, automatically the next symptom will come in will be frequent urination, which we call it polyuria. Frequent urination, why is because every hour, if you notice people with diabetes, they cannot do a single task in 1 hour without going to the toilet at least once or twice. So frequent urination will become a complication because some people cannot sleep at night because they constantly need to go to the toilet, okay, to ease themselves. So there will be frequent urination, number two. Number three will be increased hunger. We call it polyphagia in the sense that despite them eating a normal meal, they will still feel hungry all the time. So because their blood sugar level is actually increasing. So it will be increased hunger as well. Number four will be fatigue or weakness. Because they're not getting enough rest, because they're not getting enough sleep, they tend to be fatigued, and they're also resulting in you feeling very weak. Now, the the fifth one, sorry, it will be blood vision. A blood vision, why is because your diabetes affect actually three main organs immediately. That diabetes will actually take a toll on your kidneys, it will actually take a toll on your nervous system, and then the last, it will take a toll on your eyes. So that's why if you see people with a lot of with diabetes for a long time, they will actually have a condition called diabetic retinopathy, which actually affects your eyes, resulting in blurred vision. Okay, and after the blood vision, you'll actually see a lot of people that they have wounds, like accidentally they may have cut themselves in the kitchen, or they may have knocked into a table or something, but that wound will take a very long time to actually heal. So we call it slow healing wounds or infections. Their infections will take a long time. Let's say they have a cough, fever, flu. It takes a long time for them to actually recover from it. So that's why we say slow healing wounds or infections. And last but not least will be unexplained weight loss. You see, despite the common belief that yes, when you eat a lot of sugar, you tend to gain weight, yes. But when you get diabetes, the body will start to eat itself in a sense that you will actually lose weight due to it. So that is why we say there's unexplained weight loss. So these are actually the common signs and symptoms that actually are due to diabetes as well. Okay. So, how do we know if we are having diabetes? Now, this is a very important slide because this is how doctors actually know that you are having the diabetes. Okay. So, we call it the 7-Eleven rule because 7-Eleven is very common in Malaysia where everybody goes to get their food 24/7. Okay. So, why is it called 7-Eleven rule? Is because before a meal, that means before you actually eat something in the morning on an empty stomach, your blood sugar should be less than 7. This is 7 millimoles per liter. That is the unit being measured on your machine. If you have a diabetic checking machine at home, so before meal, it should be less than 7. Now, after meal, meaning after you have taken your meal, 2 hours after you have eaten, it should be less than 11. So basically, if you eat something, it after you eat 2 hours later, when we check your sugar, it should be less than 11. Because why? The 2 hours will your body supposed to have produced enough insulin to actually digest the food, so to reduce the sugar level. So that's why we will see before meal will be less than 7, after meal should be less than 11. So if you have the meters at home, you can actually do a self-check just to see. But this is not the full confirmatory test, yeah? This is just the beginning to actually see whether are you on risk of having diabetes or not. Okay. So this is the full amount of tests that we'll actually use to diagnose somebody who has diabetes or not. Now, if you look at the first column, it's called an A1C test. Now, what is an A1C test is when the doctor actually tests your average of 3 months of your blood sugar level. Why do they do that? Is because many people, before they go and see the doctor, 1 week they will start to fast, they will start to not take any sugar, they will start to do some detox, and they will try to con the doctor in the sense that to say that, oh, no, no, I'm not taking anything sweet. But they have been eating sweet for the past 6 months. So this test is actually a test in your blood that you can actually see whether the person's sugar average on a daily basis. So if you use the level, a normal should be below 5.7%. Now the pre-diabetic level, that means you are going to the diabetic range, would be 5.7 to 6.4%. And then diabetes would be 6.5% or above. So this is the A1C test. If you see it on your blood report, if you have previously done a medical checkup, you can actually look at it as a HbA1c test. It's the same. A1C or HbA1c, it's the same. Wait, sorry. Slight move. Okay. So if you're looking at from the US or from the Canada, you'll use a different unit for fasting blood sugars. That will be milligrams per deciliter. So if you are in the other part of the country, when you check your sugar with using the machine, normal should be below 99 milligrams per deciliter or below. Pre-diabetes will be 100 to 125. Diabetes will be 126 and above. Now, if you use a Malaysian machine will calculate millimoles per liter. So that's a different unit. That's why the numbers are different, but ultimately it's the same thing. So if you use Malaysian, Singaporeans, if you use the same machine, if they use that, the normal will be below 5.5. And pre-diabetes will be 5.6 to 6.9. And then diabetic will be 7 or above. So that's why the previous slide was the 7-Eleven. Your sugar should be less than 7 and after meal should be less than 11. So this is fasting, yeah? So both the columns are fasting, just different units for diabetes. Okay. All right. So what are the treatment options available for people who are suspected of diabetes? Now, in order for us to go into the treatment options, we will first try and change a person's lifestyle first. We do not want to start medication immediately until we have exhausted all our lifestyle modifications. Okay. So number one will be reduce sedentary lifestyle. So we always encourage patients to actually exercise. Now, how do you exercise? Whatever that actually makes your blood metabolism increase. Okay, so they can either advocate like 10,000 steps a day. Nowadays, everybody has a smartwatch or their phones actually can calculate their steps per day. So we advocate at least more than 10,000 steps a day or 30 minutes of exercise. The 30 minutes can be exercise of your choice. Maybe can be yoga, can be Zumba, can be whatever it is, can be even playing football, can be either playing games. So whatever that actually uh, increases your body metabolism, we actually encourage people to take 30 minutes of exercise or advocate at least more than 10,000 steps a day. All right. And also the second most important thing that people should understand will be the well-balanced diet. Later, I will show you what a DASH diet is actually is. Right now, for a normal person, that means they are not diabetic yet, and they're at the risk of diabetes. So we will actually ask them to do a well-balanced diet. Now, the latest guideline from the WHO will be the diet consists of a plate. 50% of that plate will actually be fruits and vegetables. So that is 50% now. Last time when we learned in school, 50% last time used to be carbohydrates or sugars. So they have revised it. So 50% is actually fruits or vegetables. 25% would be lean protein, and 25% will be carbohydrate, like your cakes, pastries, rice, and everything else. So most important is 50% is fruits and vegetables. 25%, that is a quarter of the table, is for lean protein, and 25 of it will be for your carbohydrates as well. Okay, so that is what the well-balanced diet is about. And number four will be to reduce or stop smoking. Now, if you have risk factors of smoking and to actually try to stop them, because if you're stopping these habits, they will actually reduce your risk and also reduce the fact that you will get diabetes as well. Okay. Many people have this concept that if you smoke cigarettes is bad, but if you smoke vape is good. No, actually, to be honest, if you smoke vape, it's 10 times worse than actually smoking a normal cigarette. Why is because vape contains a lot of chemicals, a lot of preservatives that actually you need when you are actually using vape, you will actually inhale those chemicals. Now, those chemicals are not good for your lungs and also not good for your system in general. So that's why we encourage patients to reduce or stop smoking, and then followed by reduce consumption of processed food. Now, some people may say that no, I don't take sweet things, but why is my sugar still high? Okay, nowadays our consumers are actually looking at the market, and there are lots and lots of processed food, lots of three-in-one, lots of processed food in the sense that if you look at the ingredients behind any packet, if anything that you eat at the back of the ingredients contains more than 10 ingredients, it is classified as processed food. So that's why we have to take a really good look at what are we eating on a daily basis. Are we eating natural food or are we eating processed food? Sometimes due to time constraint, we tend to rely on three-in-one or we tend to rely on instant noodles or instant food. So anything instant is processed food. So that is also a contributing factor towards diabetes as well. And last but not least would be weight reduction. As you have seen the earlier slide, one of the risk factors for diabetes is obesity. So we encourage people to reduce their weight so that it reduces your risk factors by about 25 to 50%. So that will be weight reduction. Now, after we have tried all the lifestyle modifications, after your doctors have given you enough time to try all this and we repeat the blood test and it still shows high, then we've got no choice but to start medications for diabetes as well. So, what are the medications for diabetes that we can actually start on? So, number one, they will do a blood checkup first. Why they do that is because they will want to check your kidney function, they want to check your liver function before they start on any medication as well. Okay, so after they have done that checkup, they will move on to oral hypoglycemic. Hypoglycemic means uh, agents that reduce your sugar in your blood. So there will be oral medications such as metformin, glycoside, vildagliptin. All these are names of medications. Now, for those who have been taking, or you have any relatives who have been taking diabetic medications, you all will know these drugs. So these are the common drugs that are used. Okay, and if the oral drugs are still not enough to bring the sugar to the desired level, then the doctors will have to step up to basal insulin. Insulin will be that particular device that comes in a pen where they actually inject either in the patient's stomach or in the hand because they want to reduce the blood sugar level. So they have two types of insulin. Some will be basal insulin where they only inject it at night, and some will be rapid acting where they insert it throughout the day. So these are treatment options for people with diabetes. Okay. All right. So so far from the entire talk, what are the fundamentals with regards to diabetes as well? So number one will be to maintain balanced nutrition. So balanced nutrition will actually ensure that you are not going to the risk factors. Now the next fundamental, as what I want to stress today, is regular physical checks. Now regular physical checks in what I mean here is if you are in the normal frame, there is nothing wrong with you, but it's necessary to check every once a year. Just do a fasting blood test once a year, consult your family doctor, ask him, hi, do I have any issues? How is my cholesterol level? How is my sugar level? So you can actually know that your physical health is taken care of. And number three that people frequently neglect is adequate rest and sleep. Now, if you don't get adequate rest and sleep, you tend to be more agitated, you tend to be more stressed. And when you are more stressed, you tend to rely on sweet things or dangerous substances like alcohol. Some people rely on cigarettes to actually keep them going on a daily basis. Some people, if you notice, they rely on a sweet cup of coffee. Like they need the coffee to be extra sweet so that they can actually function during the day. Why is because they're not having adequate rest or sleep. That is why it's causing them to rely on external substances. Okay. So, what are the common mistakes that people actually do with regards to healthy lifestyle? Now you can actually see that a lot of people doing content on TikTok, on Facebook, on Instagram. So how many of these contents actually are vetted or actually are scientifically proven? We did not do a fact check before we actually follow. What seems fancy or what seems to be like how to lose weight in 7 days or how to lose weight in 20 days. So we get carried away by these catchy taglines that actually people are doing major mistakes towards your body. Now, here are the common mistakes that I've put for you today. Number one will be skipping meals. Now, skipping meals can lead to overeating later in the day. So, erratic blood sugar levels, meaning that the blood sugar levels can be low because you're not eating because you skip the meal, and suddenly after you eating, it shoots up higher because you're overeating the portion that you usually eat. So, and also reduce energy levels. If you don't eat on a regular meal or you're not on a regular routine, you'll tend to have low energy levels, and that will cause you to be more stressed or burned out later on. So that's why skipping meals is a mistake, which can lead to overeating later and also resulting in high blood sugar levels. Okay, number two will be many people fall for fat diets that promise quick results but are often unsustainable. Okay, so many people have got this idea that if they do not eat, they eat something called a meal replacement, or they eat something which actually try to reduce their weight, or they try to eat like extra fiber because they want to actually throw off the excessive food. So all of this will actually drain the essential nutrients that you get from natural food. So that's why many people who want a quick fix for their solution will actually inevitably not get the proper nutrition that they need for their daily basis. And often it's not sustainable because after a while you tend to find that the food is not tasty, or or you feel like you are desiring for something more. So that's why many people are not sustainable with regards to this particular diet. Okay. Number three, which is very important, will be dehydration can lead to fatigue, headaches, and poor physical and mental performance. A lot of people, when they do diets such as intermittent fasting, or they do some diets where they tend to eat less, but they forget the main component is you must drink adequate amount of water. So dehydration is one of the key factors which can actually lead to fatigue and headaches and poor physical and mental health. So you need to adequately drink in order to sustain your body. As we all know, we are made up of 76% of water. So yes, so we need enough hydration throughout the day. And by hydration, I do not mean sweet cups of coffee or sweet cups of tea throughout the day. Hydration in the sense that will be plain water, or some people would like lemon infused water or cucumber infused water. So it depends on your preference and your taste. But ultimately, it has to be clear water. Okay. Now, last but not least, will be sedentary lifestyles are prevalent in today's society because a lot of us are actually doing desk jobs. A lot of us are on the computers most of the time. A lot of us are actually doing jobs that don't require us to move a lot. So, sedentary lifestyle is actually a mistake because we don't actually exercise our body, we don't use our muscles as what is needed. So, if you look at those days in comparative to now, those days, people were doing a lot of work that require physical labor. Now, actually, they end up being much more healthier compared to our current generation because we are now a lot more comfortable. We can actually work from a nice aircon desk when aircon plays, where we sit on a desk the whole day. We often don't stretch our legs. We often don't move ourselves. We sit down there stressed out at work. We tend to chase deadlines. And actually, this is kind of a mistake because you are not moving. And in the long run, as you grow older, you tend to lose muscle mass as well because you're not lifting weights, you are not exercising your heart muscles. You will eventually get a lot more diseases than you're supposed to at your age. So that's why sedentary lifestyles are a mistake in terms of leading a healthy lifestyle. Okay, so what are the tips that I will share with you for healthy living? Okay, now a healthy living has to be a holistic, which encompasses your physical health, your mental health, and also your emotional well-being as well. So in order to lead a fulfilling, longer life. Now we have been given this amazing body for rent. Okay, it is not for us to use it permanently, but it's for rent. So how we look after it is our own choice. Okay, so what are the main tips? Number one will be prioritize a diet rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, and healthy fats. Now, a lot of people, when they hear lean proteins, it does not mean meat alone. Meat alone does not contain lean proteins. You can get a lot of plant-based proteins, which are actually more than meats in general. You have beans, you have legumes, you have nuts. All of this actually, when eaten at the right quantity, will actually give your body a more protein boost compared to actually eating meat. Yeah. So the next part will be practice portion control to avoid overeating and maintain a healthy weight. Now you must actually, whatever that you do, even every time that we actually look at it, will be practice everything in moderation. Even if we eat too much of healthy food, will actually not be good for us. So practice everything in moderation and overeat and stop overeating in order to maintain a healthy weight. Okay, another small tip that we actually now that scientists have actually researched, but our ancestors have been doing this for a long time, is we do not eat anything after 7 p.m. That means we try to finish our dinner, we try to finish whatever that we want to eat by 7 p.m. So as the sun sets, we actually tend to finish up our meal because our digestive fire, that we call it, will actually reduce after sunset. So that's why people encourage you to eat by 7 p.m. And so when you go to bed at about 10 or 11, your food has already, most of it, been digested already. Okay. So the next one will be like what I previously said, is to aim for at least 150 minutes is per week. This 150 minutes is per week. Yeah. So the easiest to remember will be 30 minutes a day. Okay, that will be more than 150 minutes a week. So this is the bare minimum, 150 minutes or moderately intensity aerobic exercise or 75 minutes of vigorous exercise per week. So these are the particular numbers that we try to aspire. If we have not started, let's do it today. Today is a good day. Today that we have woke up this morning and we have actually alive and healthy. Let's try and start something new today. So that is why we aim for at least 150 minutes or moderately intensity exercise per week, right? And then the third part will be to practice stress reduction techniques, because everybody is talking about the physical health, but not many people are concentrating on the mental aspect. So how do we tackle the mental aspect? We actually, now it's considered as a bigger part of our life compared to our physical health. So practice stress reduction techniques such as mindfulness, meditation, or deep breathing exercises. If you have joined, thanks to SVB Prabhu, they have a lot of classes that they've actually talked about meditation, even chanting. A lot of people do not see chanting as a stress reduction technique. If you chant every day, like Prabhu has got a chant for every single day for different deities. If you have actually practiced chanting, chanting can actually reverberate in in your organs, in your body, which will actually reduce stress as well. Okay, meditation, of course, we have been doing it for a long, long time, but right now the current generation have not been practicing as much as we used to. So meditation is actually a very fundamental key to reduce your stress. Now, mindfulness, what is mindfulness? In a sense that when you're doing something, you need to put your mind, body, and soul into what you're doing. As the task can be as simple as eating. Now, when you're eating, a lot of us, including myself, we actually tend to look at the TV and eat. So we are not actually appreciating what food that we have on our plate. We take life for granted that, oh yes, I will actually eat lunch, I will actually eat dinner, but we are not being mindful of what we eat. What is on our plate? What vegetables are there? How does it taste like? What is the amount of rice that we are eating? Because if we are watching a drama or we are watching TV or we are watching some sort of entertainment either on our phones, laptops, we tend to not notice the portion that we are eating as well. So practice mindfulness not only in terms of eating, but in terms of everything that we do. We need to be present in our situations so that we encourage ourselves to reduce our stress. Okay, and do not forget to actually get adequate sleep as well. Okay, so sleep is very important. Yeah. Okay. So How to eat outside. Now, I know a lot of people do not have the luxury of having home cooked food 24/7. A lot of y'all are eating outside, or let's say we want to bring our family outside. Sometimes they get bored from eating our home food. So, how do we do that? Now, these are a few tips that you can actually plan when you're going to eat outside. Number one will be you plan ahead. Now you can a lot of menus in the restaurants that you can actually check online. So you can check the restaurants that you want to go, check the menu online before you go. So you can actually see whether they have healthier options, and you can avoid impulsive choices like burgers, fries, and everything. You can't stop children from actually choosing them. But if you can actually go to the restaurant where they have less of these so-called exciting foods and they have more healthier options, then you will actually limit the exposure to more unhealthy food. So that's why you can actually plan ahead so that you can actually know that you are getting your money's worth for your healthy food. Now, next will be portion control. So portion control, a lot of videos have gone into portion control in a sense that if you are eating a meal outside and it looks a lot, usually the meals are a lot because they want you to be happy and they want you to come back again. So portion control is very important that we eat half of it and we take the half back home. We can actually use it for our next meal. So eat portion control here is very important. So we ask for smaller portions. Sometimes if you ask for smaller portions, you tend to lose your money's worth because they will give you the half, but they will actually not give you the balance. So what you can do is you get the full portion, but you only eat half and you pack half back home. So you take leftovers home to avoid overeating. Now, the third option will be for smart ordering. Now, if you look at the menu, it will be best if you opt for grill options or you opt for steamed dishes over fried dishes. Even vegetables, also, a lot of people think that they're eating vegetables, but when they eat fried vegetables, like the cauliflower has already been fried, or they eat bitter gourd that has already been fried to crispiness, you tend to lose the major part of the nutrients. So you try to opt for grilled or opt for steamed dishes so you can actually be mindful and you can actually get the nutrients that you're supposed to get. And also choose lean proteins and plenty of vegetables as well. Now, the last but not least will be mindful eating. We need to eat slowly to savor our food and also to stop when you're satisfied. Your body is actually a very intelligent organ, like what Dr. Vaish was saying the last time, that your gut is your second brain. So your gut will actually tell you that you have already reached your full level. It is when we start to ignore those signs and we start to, never mind, today I will eat an extra cup, today I will eat an extra gulab jamun, or today I will eat an extra rice. Oh, the pulaf looks nice today, I will take an extra helping. Now, it is when we do not do mindful eating is when we overeat, and then that becomes a habit or a routine. Okay, so this is mindful eating. So other than that, what you can actually do in your own country, in your own cities, you can actually join in public awareness campaigns. There are a lot of people who are actually suffering from diabetes who do not know. A lot of people are undiagnosed as well. So you can actually join in public awareness campaigns. You can actually teach your friends and your family. You can actually join classes like how Prabhuji is organizing. So this actually creates awareness to everybody. It creates awareness in a sense that how do we protect ourselves from diabetes, or if we are already diabetic, what do we do next? A lot of cities, like in Malaysia, we have a lot of health runs. I'm sure Singapore as well has a lot of very healthy activities that you all can actually join on a Sunday, on a Saturday. You can actually join for a lot of health runs, which will actually give you the sense of motivation to exercise more. You want to look good when you run. You don't want to go there and pass out. You don't want to go there and look very weak. So this gives you a goal, a target. It gives you a motivation on how to run. So when you join this kind of health runs, you actually inevitably increase your own physical activity so that you will actually reduce your risk factors. And the last earlier that I was stressing will be health screenings and follow up. So your health screenings, your yearly health screenings, if you have not done, you can actually go and do it tomorrow. If you have actually your follow up, you can actually go and check. So what are your sugar levels, your sugar levels, cholesterol levels, liver function, all of these parameters will be explained by your doctor as well. Okay. So In conclusion, what I would like to actually stress for today is diabetes is actually a preventable disease. Okay, with early screening. Preventable in the sense that you can actually prevent yourself from actually getting it. So it is with early screening, with proper blood taking, and also lifestyle modifications, you can actually prevent diabetes. Now, if you have already been diagnosed with diabetes, do not worry. Just be compliant with the regular follow-ups and dietary advice. You are responsible for your body, so you need to make a change from within. You need to be mindful. You need to be responsible on your diet and also your medication and your follow-up as well. So consider healthy living as a precious gift you give to yourself and your loved ones. We always think that, oh, we only need to worry about our loved ones. We often neglect ourselves, especially a lot of mothers out there. They take care of their children, their husband, their household. They tend to forget about themselves. So please, you have to be healthy in order to help somebody else. So consider a healthy living as a precious gift you give to yourself and also your loved ones. It's an investment of your future, allowing you to enjoy a vibrant and active lifestyle. Okay. So these are the other trainings that I actually conduct in Malaysia as well. Yeah, for any other health topics and also first aid and CPR. I would like to take the opportunity to thank everyone for coming, for sharing your time in this early morning. I will take questions if there are any questions.
Yeah, Sairam, anybody have any questions?
Doctor,
Sairam, ma.
uh, can diabetes be reversed? That means once you are diagnosed with diabetes, can it be reversed by proper eating habits and
Okay,
exercise?
most of the time we need to look at the level of the diabetes. You can actually reduce the medication dosage, but a very small percentage will actually allow diabetes to be reversed. It is rare, but you can actually work on the in order to reduce the medication first. So when you are diagnosed with diabetes, you need to actually reduce your blood sugar level so the doctor can reduce your medication. That will be step one. Eventually, we can actually look at it whether you can actually reverse diabetes or not. But it's a very rare occasion.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you.
Hello, doctor.
Yes, Sairam.
Sairam. Actually, I had diabetes
Uh-huh.
and I reversed it and it came back
Fantastic.
to 5.7.
Okay.
Previously, it was 10 and it
Okay.
took me a year. So I was doing like 10 miles per day walking
Wow. Okay.
to
Very good.
fight it. But now I have only one question because I've been eating, as you mentioned. The only question is when I have fruits and vegetables, right?
Mhm.
The fruit has fructose in it. So how
Correct.
do I eat the fruit? So not the fructose, I know it's kind of difficult to break
Correct.
down. So
Correct.
how do I go about eating the fruits?
Okay. If
Thank
you
you
eat
so
the
much.
fruits, people would actually recommend you to eat it during the day. During the day. Why? Is because your body has the digestive fire that I was talking about, that it actually increases from sunrise to sunset. So during this time, you should actually eat fruits, preferably in the morning, or you preferably eat in the early evening. So you can actually digest these fructose. These fructose actually, if it's natural fruits, like natural, they are not artificial sweeteners, the fruits can actually get digest. You can actually digest it compared to not eating at all or eating very late at night. This is when the sugar will be stored in your liver and then eventually will be changed into cholesterol as well.
Okay, so eating it during the day would be the best
Yes,
option.
it's the best option, Amma. And
Mhm.
of course, portion control will also play a role as well.
Mhm.
Eating too much of something will actually be not healthy as well, even though it's
Mhm.
a healthy fruit.
Can I say something to
Sure, ma.
Shamala? Shamala, if you can remove all these pops, Coke, Pepsi in your kitchen or
Yes.
like cookies, get it out from the kitchen pantry. So it's not there. Even you're craving, there's nothing for you to go and munch on. So there's
Correct.
nothing. So
Correct.
that would be a very healthy way of tackling it. But thank you so much for your time. Very
No problem.
appreciated.
Thank you, Sairam. Anybody else?
Thank you, sir.
No problem, Amma. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions?
Sir,
Okay, I have one question. Suppose if
Yes,
we
Amma.
have fasting, will it, when I want to do fasting, how to, cope up,
You're having gastric issues, Amma, currently?
no, I don't have any gastric issue.
Okay. So if you're
Now,
fasting,
fasting in the sense I will eat some, whatever allowed, during that fasting day, I eat, but like fruits, milk I can take. So, but
okay.
most of the time I drink more water because after my menopause, right, I feel very sweaty. So, it doesn't lead to diabetes, right? That means you told we intend to eat and drink more water, but that is, I don't feel thirsty, but because of my body condition, like I feel very hot, so I drink more water. So, is that fine?
Yes, yes, that is okay, Amma. Because if you are, most of us, when you're fasting, the most important would be hydration. Because I think all of our fasts, if you look at Ekadasi fasting, or if you're
Yeah.
fasting for Pradosham, or you're fasting for anything, there is no restriction in terms of water. So we can actually take water, but only our food part is what is actually good. But why actually we do fasting in terms of our religious fasting, if you look at it, is our body in the 11th day of the lunar month, that will be the Ekadasi on every month. The scientists have actually checked that your body doesn't need food on that particular day. If you actually
Okay.
notice that you will not feel hungry, you will not actually really feel like actually you want to eat. But there's also a body's natural way to actually rest itself. So that's why our forefathers, our ancestors were very smart, that they actually created fasting for us, that we fast for a particular guru or we fast for a particular deity. Actually, it's actually giving our body, our digestive system a break. So fasting is not an issue at all, as long as you follow the regulations that they have. But most important is to hydrate yourself throughout the day.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
So, Sister Sarita ji, you unmuted. Anybody unmuted means you want to ask any question? Gauri ji?
yes, sir.
Yes, Amma.
I'm a diabetic, sir, but
Okay.
I take less water. I don't know how to increase. If I take more water, I
Uh-huh.
can't eat.
I see. Okay.
Yeah,
Right now, how many cups of water do you take, Amma?
I have not counted, at
Okay.
least 5.
At least 5. Okay. Try to slowly increase it, in a sense that, but how do you have other conditions other than diabetes? Is there any other issues, like any heart issues or any kidney issues
No,
currently?
sir. No,
No.
sir.
Okay. So then it's
Yeah,
okay. You can gradually increase, because if you suddenly from 4 cups, and let's say you want to increase to 8 cups, sometimes you may not be able to take the taste. Sometimes you may feel like you're still you want to vomit, or you may feel that
yeah, yeah.
you
That's
tend to go
true.
toilet.
Yeah. Uh,
Correct. So you gradually increase from, let's say, 5, you try one day, to 6 cups for 1 week, and then you gradually increase to 7 cups. Or if you feel plain water is not so desirable, what you can do is you can actually make like a cucumber infused. You just put a few cucumbers into the plain water, or some people
yeah.
actually, if they got no gastric issues, they can actually use lemon water as well.
Yes. What is the thing? We don't get sleep sometimes in the night. What
Yes.
makes us that, sir?
Because when you don't give enough sleep, is because your sugar level is high, your body is agitated. So you are not fully rested when you actually go to sleep. So that's why you can
Okay.
actually practice techniques like you can actually do meditation before you sleep. Or some people, what they do is they actually are advocating you do a gratitude journal before you sleep. Like, let's say before you
Yeah.
want to sleep, you can actually take a book and you write, what are you grateful for today? What happened
Yes.
today? How do you feel about today? You want to thank Swami, you want to thank anybody that you actually revere, that you had a good day today. So when you write those gratitude journal, your mind tends to actually detox or start to de-stress. So inevitably, you can actually have a better sleep. And most important
Okay.
is to not eat 2 hours before you sleep. A lot of people tend to eat late and immediately sleep. You do not have a rested sleep actually.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
No problem, Amma.
Next, anybody? Sairam? Okay. If no one have any questions, okay, Dr. Parthivan,
Yes,
thank you very much, so much, for taking
no
the
problem,
time
brother.
to explain the medical, all this briefing on the diabetes so clearly.
Okay,
I think we
no
feel
problem.
much more, information. We got it, and we're confident now. All the devotees are confident more, and they may take next steps. What the devotees takes, right? Whatever. So I think I truly appreciate your expertise. Yeah, thank you very much,
No
Dr.
problem.
Parthivan, and let us meet again on the after 2 weeks. I think, right? Yeah,
Sure.
thank you. I think next
Sairam.
briefing will be Dr. Vaishnavi will be coming. If anybody needs their contacts, it is already there in the YouTube. I already added. You can go into and click and check it out. Thank you, Sairam. Thank you.
Okay.
Have a nice
This
weekend.
is mind-opening session for us because
Yeah,
every day
and
morning 9
correct.
to 5 office work. I think we
Yeah,
need
correct.
to.
And doctors, they are already traveling, but still took time and they have briefed from the rest,
No problem,
wherever
brother.
they stay. Thank you, Sairam. Thank you.
Thank you,
Sai-
Sairam, everyone.
Okay.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
Sairam.
yeah, 1 minute.
More advice.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sairam.
Very
Thank
well.
you. Thank you so much.